I'm here today to help clear up any confusion you might have with this little chap here, the chief, the furniture, the chief of the pack, the driver. Now, so many of you have been convinced that you really need to try and hit up. You really need to get those shoulders tilting to begin with to try and get the maximum out of the driver and try and hit up. But I'm here today to tell you, you need a bespoke way of making sure you set up. Because the problem is, you're more than likely, if you've gone really to the extreme of tilting, you're going to struggle to get that ball even airborne because you just can't get to the bottom of the golf ball. You can't get to the southern hemisphere. So you need to make sure you set up right for you. And I'm here today to tell you how we do that. Don't forget, hit that link below to get on my website, to get on the waiting list for lessons with myself here at Whittlebury Park Golf Club. Now let's go back a few steps. We've been taught to try and hit up on the golf ball with the driver. Yes, that is true. It's an ideal way to hit that driver, to get that ball really nicely airborne, to get that ball carrying up in the air, high launch, low spin. That is the absolute holy grail. However, the problem is a lot of you go really to the extreme. Your shoulders are dramatically tilting, and again, you might struggle to get that club to that ground. So here's the deal. Think about how you strike your golf ball. Now, if you feel your ball coming out the bottom of the golf club, or if you feel your ball coming out the very top of the golf club, you get those real horrible sky sort of shots. I'm here today to make sure that you get the middle of that golf club. And the way we set up hugely influences where we strike that golf ball. All of you who hit the ball out the very bottom of the golf club, you get those horrible chasey ones, you hit the belly of the golf ball. I want you to set up like this. I want you to set up with your shoulders a bit more level. In other words, your left shoulder is parallel with that right shoulder. So they're almost parallel to the ground. They won't be, because again, for right-handed golfers, your right hand sits lower than your left. So your left shoulder will just sit slightly higher. But I want you to feel as though your shoulders are more level as opposed to tilting. And the reason is this. Again, if we've got too much tilt, we're going to hit too much up on the ball. And when we hit too much up, the problem is the club can't reach the ground where it should be or reach under the ball. So more than likely, you're going to hit the bottom of the golf club. So we want to avoid that like the plague by making sure that our shoulders are a lot more level. Likewise, if you get those horrible pop-up ones, those ones that just really, if you see a lot of driver marks, you can see it for yourself, especially if you play golf for a number of years. On your driver, you'll see a heck of a lot more marks on the very roof, the very top of your golf club. You need to do the opposite. What I want you to do is feel that left shoulder to begin with is sitting a lot higher than your right shoulder. Because the problem is, and the reason you're hitting the roof of the golf club is because when you come into that golf ball, going slightly to the extreme, your left shoulder is going to be a heck of a lot lower than your right shoulder. You're coming into it really down, really steep with no loft. You're introducing the roof of that golf club to that golf ball, and it'll pop up in the air. So we need to do the opposite of that. We need to make sure we're tilting that little bit more to begin with and feel as we come into that ball, that left shoulder is still higher on that way through. So just do yourself some little practice things like this and just get that feeling that left shoulder is sitting a lot higher. Because that will ensure, again, yes, we get the club underneath the ball, but making sure, again, the club's heading more up as opposed to when you roof it, more than likely, it's going to head more down into it. So to recap, if your ball's coming out the bottom of that golf club, I want you to set up with your shoulders more level. If your ball is coming off the very roof of the golf club, the very top, I want you to tilt your shoulders more to begin with, that left shoulder higher than the right. And if you get the right combination, just changing the angle your shoulders are at address can make a massive difference in the quality of your strike with the chief.